I love that. You know what? I really love the fact that there's this build-up. It's like a trailer to what JP Sebastian's about to do, and I'm telling you, I'm ready to see no evil, because this is going to be one of the most amazing sections of the show. 4 new trailers just dropped. JP, let's go into it. We've got 4 of them to cover.
Yes.
So let's start with the beasts.
Very quick. And so these are ones that like enticed me. Hopefully they'll drag you into, hopefully you put them on your radar, get a pen and paper out or you know, a tablet, whatever you do these days, me and my old bum. These are 4 movies that have trailers this week that grab me, and I hope that they grab you too. So first one, like you just said, The Beasts. And hopefully there's a face that you recognize here. I think that you will immediately.
Yeah.
Denis Ménochet, we don't obviously know too much, obviously, in South African movie markets, but from, remember at the start of Inglourious Bastards, Quentin Tarantino's World War II movie, that big dude who was hiding Shoshana, who had to face Christoph Waltz. So he leads this one this time, and what's horrifying about this movie, I mean horrifying about this movie, is that it's a true story. And it's a criminal, like, slow burner type thing. Set in Galicia in Spain, so I know that you're probably feeling quite thrilled to be Spanish after you defeated Liverpool recently, but...
Different segment, yes, but
Yes. Let me make you feel a bit more tense about being in that country. So, small town that these 2 people go to. They think it's going to be their idyllic retirement, their escape kind of thing. And there's a weird tension that goes on with that, is that people actually live where you plan to retire. All of us who might have these bougie middle-class ideas of, oh, I'd love to go to the Karoo, like myself or whatever. But there are people there who have to like dig through the dirt and make a living off that. He then clashes heads with the locals because they all... A bunch of them decide they're going to sell their farms to a major corporation. They deserve maybe a better life. They maybe deserve a shot at the prize. But to them, it's still this Eden that they want to make, this new couple. So they bang head to head. And like I said, in real life, it has real life consequences. There was a documentary in 2016 called So Antonella. So check it out for yourself. If you're into true crime, that kind of thing, this looks tense, and critics are going mad wild for it. No dates in SA for any of these movies. These are underdogs. These are babakis. These are little movies.
To entice.
Look them up, though, for yourself.
Get on the line.
Put it on the list. On the line, we have another one that is all tense. It's all tense this morning. Like, I've got no chill. Speaking of chill, we've got this chilly scene in the Swiss Alps where it is a mother and daughter you're looking at on the poster. It starts off with, whereas the previous one was a slow burn up to the climactic ending. A young lady, a woman attacks her mother in a spat of just years of pressure, I suppose. She has an aggressive outburst and then gets a restraining order, no charges or anything like that. And so there's this convenient line painted outside the house by one of the sisters who wants to just keep the peace because the police are like, dude, if you cross this 100-meter mark,
there it is.
It's game over for you. You actually go to prison. So it's sort of like, I suppose, if you're into these musical kind of movies, because you just saw music being played there, like Whiplash, for example, you see that. I don't know if you ever played an instrument, Carl. I hear this reported from a lot of people. Like, psychologically, it's very tense sometimes between the teacher and the student. Especially if this teacher is quite competitive. The mother, in this case, is a musician who previously was a classical pianist. Feels probably in a way that her children took that future from her. You know, as these sort of family dramas go, the child is talented herself. And so there are these tender moments of her trying to sort of like play guitar to the family to woo them from the 100-meter mark, trying to keep up this family tradition of music and whatever. But at the same time, who knows how that winds up in a more violent, sort of aggressive way.
Once again, slow burn. But I don't mind slow burn because it's good narrative to it.
No, for sure, man.
If I love that.
Stomach in knots, then that's what movies are about.
Is the next one going to be slow burn? Godland.
Yes.
Okay, let's go slow burn again.
Absolutely no chill again with Scandinavians speaking no chill. So if you're into stuff like The Lighthouse, Willem Dafoe and whatever.
Slow burn.
Yep, serious business. And again, critics are going wild for this one. Godland is... Denmark has a colonial history, and not a lot of people sort of know this, and it goes from Greenland to, in this case, it's Iceland. And missionary goes with his camera around, and in the typical missionary fashion, decides to catalog all the locals as if they're not actually part of the land themselves. He's got a very aggressive, arrogant manner about how he's going to sort of arrest Iceland into his sort of vision of this Danish god, graced land. Look at these amazing shots, by the way. Weird thing about Iceland is that he doesn't understand is that it's really this alien world of volcanoes and uninhabitable, just hostile environments that he decides he's going to trek over It again has a violent sort of head to it. I don't know if obviously this is based on. Look at that. That's amazing. That's beautiful. That's less beautiful. But obviously there's these scary hints, especially after stuff like we're used to Midsommar and whatever. So there is this vibe where it all gets to his head eventually. He starts believing that, similar to Kurtz in Apocalypse Now, he becomes god of his own environment, but it's delusions of the colonialist type thing. Tense thriller that went out at Cannes, like the previous movie, in fact, The Beast. And yeah, I look forward to this. No date in essay just yet, but keep it tense. Sometimes movies need the slow burn, man. Yeah.
Wowza. Okay, well, we got The Lion, we got The Beast, we got Godland, but of course we've got more movies coming up a little bit later, including Creed 3 and John Wick 4, which I'm excited about with JP Sebastian a little bit later, but for now, I'm hungry.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso here on S3, and I can tell you there is one man who is ready to give you some of the movies that you can expect. Boston Strangler, Creed 3, John Wick 4. We are ready for the number one when it comes to movies, JP Sebastian.
No pressure. Whenever Carl talks, it's like, man,
No,
I feel like I'm about to write Maths 2 when he was...
Maths 2? Maths lit. It's about to get that way. But Boston Strangler, so good to see Keira Knightley again.
Yeah, where's she been? It was like 5 years ago, maybe it was the last Pirates of the Caribbean. After that was Colette, and then there was Nix. She was in that one movie by... anyway, Gareth Edwards.
Taking a break.
Yeah, no, good for her though. Like she didn't fall into the sort of the net of, and it's fine if people want to do superhero movies, but she's not in any of those. She doesn't have a character that, to your memory.
No, but she would have been very, very good actually in one of the Marvels.
They're in one of these smaller things, comparatively smaller. These are obviously larger than the indies I just spoke about. It's a true story based on, surprise, surprise, the Boston
Strangler.
5 points to Gryffindor.
Thank you.
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't like Harry Potter. Keira Knightley is this journalist who very much in the spirit of, do you remember Zodiac?
Yes.
Ooh, which was scary.
Loved Zodiac.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I feel like it was underrated.
Robert Downey Jr. No, for sure. You're totally right.
Yeah.
People need to watch that again. So if you're into Zodiac, this seems very much a similar thing. Because in there, Jake Gyllenhaal's a comic writer for a cartoon artist. Why was that so hard for me to describe?
Yeah.
Maybe I should do drawings rather than speaking. For a newspaper, and he decides he's going to go on the side venture and figure out who the Zodiac is. I nearly said Toni Collette because she was in Collette. Keira Knightley is a journalist who is told by editors, stick to your story, stick to what you were told to do. And instead it veers off to actually solve the case, or at least reveal a lot of who this potential serial killer is. Chris Cooper is our editor, by the way. These are the faces that, like these are a lot of actors in here where you go, I know that dude, he's a specialist.
Where's he from?
Yeah. Whenever they're in movies, they elevate the thing, but you'll never know their names, like William Fitchner, for example. Bill Camp is another character in this.
Alessandro Nivola as well.
And Carrie Coons, you might remember, obviously, from Gone Girl. She was Ben Affleck's sister, and she's so good, too. So, extremely good cast. And cool to see Keira Knightley back in the fray as well. No date in SA. It's out on the US streamer, so hopefully there's a chance we get it on the big screen.
Hopefully.
Because it's exclusive there, who knows? We'll see. Yes, super excited.
Creed 3. Okay, we're ready. And you know what? It's so good to see Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, well, when do you not? When do you not see Jonathan Majors?
Jonathan Majors is just,
shouting the odds there rightly, because he is in everything right now. We were trying to figure out the other day, sorry, I'm looking off camera, but I promise you, Cutler was off camera. It was Lovecraft Country that he was in, the TV show, which he was incredible in there too. Devotion was the other movie where he plays the fighter pilot. That was just last year. He's now got Ant-Man, where I think he pretty much steals the show. You've probably been hearing from people that
yes, I have been.
He's a sizable presence in that. And sizable is the word here too, because, returns
he's
obviously.
Ripped as well.
Yeah.
Proper.
Comes out next week is actually when this is. So this is just the final teaser to try and keep your appetite piqued. What's also pretty cool is, geez, we forgot to mention Michael B. Jordan exists. Who's also
that? No, I'm kidding. No.
Incredible actor who does much better with a moustache, as we're seeing. At least I've got the abs, don't I? No, that's a lie too. No, lies. Next week is Creed 3. I'm very excited. This is actually his directorial debut, Michael B. Jordan. Directed nothing before. And what's cool about this dude is very much reminds me in the same spirit of like Margot Robbie, where they're both great actors, but they're very interested in what happens behind the scenes too, in the production, in staying. It's not just, hey, I picked up the check for acting, bye everyone type thing. So I hope to see that he has a pretty interesting directorial career ahead of him. We'll find out by next week. But what I worry about, maybe especially for a first-time director, is that this trailer is super stuffed. Obviously, you got the wife situation. You got, Felicia Rashad as well, who has to get some daylight too.
Are you thinking there's too many narratives?
I wish that for as great as Jonathan Majors is, and for the size that these characters are, that it was just like two forces, like an immovable rock and the unstoppable force going head-to-head. I really do hope this is good because, geez, Creed 2 knocked my socks off. Ridiculously in the leagues of stuff like Raging Bull. If they can keep up that tradition, then I'd be really impressed and surprised. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that we're going to end up with at least a good movie next week. We'll see.
John Wick 4. Now, we were left with Parabellum. We were left with John Wick. No Finger, back in, on the run. Naturally. All the Keanu Reeves, vibes that we need. But now, of course, John Wick 4. This is the next chapter.
Again, this is just the final trailer for everyone to be like, hey guys, remember with a lot of people punching the air right now in studio.
Yes.
It's wild, there's violence. They're fighting very quietly. I appreciate the respect for the segment. We've got all the regulars are back. We've got new faces, which is fantastic too. It's a tiny trailer, just gives you a little taster, a teaser of a reminder of what the story is. And yeah, again, it's these two forces going head-to-head, because he actually apparently in this one has to go mano a mano against Bill Skarsgård, It the Clown. Dude, no, for real.
Yeah.
So you're not fighting a dude in clown makeup. That would be peculiar, wouldn't it? It is such a strange story, man. Like, John Wick for me is, I keep saying this and I'll say it, yes, Donnie Yen. Do it. That early in the morning. I have adrenaline pump now. Like, I'm officially awake. Welcome to the show. Seriously, John Wick is a miracle to me.
Yeah.
Like, we were just talking about how we're hearing all sorts of bad things about Ant-Man. You're hearing them. I'm saying them. Guys, superhero movies could learn so much from the tactile nature of fighting. We were just saying Shang-Chi. Fighting wasn't an improvement because it's choreographed. It's timed. You can see people put blood and sweat. And geez, the blood and sweat comes across when you see how hard Keanu Reeves works. The featurettes and all the behind-the-scenes stuff is out already too. This is just a reminder. Get excited. When's the date on that, by the way?
It's 24th of March, John Wick 4. That's how it goes. JP Sebastian, as always, thank you so much. Boston Strangler, Creed 3, John Wick 4, everything you need and love about movies. Talking about love, love is love.